Hello, hello. It's Blue coming to you live from the UNESCO World Heritage Lagoon. And we are once again here for the new series of Get to Know a Team. This time around, we have the pleasure of learning about one of the Altered TCG's founding teams, the ExAlts. If you have been playing Altered for any decent amount of time, you have undoubtedly heard of or at least seen the name of the ExAlts, and maybe even know some of their members. I was lucky enough to sit down with one of the founders of the team and talk about the ExAlts origin, the difficulties in having such a large and popular team, and the exciting projects they have on the horizon. Once again, if you haven't already, please take the time to tap that subscribe button if you enjoy this or any of my content, as well as leave a comment with the faction you plan to use in your Tumult Championships to try and win the Kurakami Community event. And I will pick a winner for a very special giveaway. Now, on to the interview, and I'll see you in play on the next day. Hello to everyone, including my guest, and we will just go for it without any delay. First, let's start with an introduction of yourself and what have been your past experiences with TCGs, and specifically, have you been a part of a team prior to the Altered TCG?
Okay, so hello everyone. Thanks for inviting me, Blue. So I'm Leo, or in Altered Aran. I was part of the foundation of the team, the ExAlts. My experience in the field of TCG goes back to the beginning of Hearthstone, I guess. I had some experience with Magic when I was very young, but it was also like I'm born in New Caledonia, so it's a little island in the South Pacific. So it was quite complicated to gain access to cards and stuff like that. So I had some cards at some point, but just free playing in the school with not the rules or stuff like that, just having fun with the cards. But when I get really into TCG was with Hearthstone. The really I was really implicated the beta test and so on, and then I start playing a lot when it was released, and it was also the beginning of my competitive endeavor on TCG because I joined really fast, quietly fast a team called the Punchline, which for people from France may remind some stuff because we have some well-known streamer of Hearthstone still in, I think, working right now in the Solari team, which is a big organization in France. But back in the day, they were part of my little team called Punchline, and so we really digged up a lot on Hearthstone at the beginning with those guys. And yeah, I did some tournament in France, like I think one of the biggest tournament back in the day of Hearthstone offline. I remember some big streamers came like Savage and stuff like that, like well-known names in Hearthstone back in the day. And we had some fun. I think one of my teammates ended up. Wait, yeah, if I remember, I ended up top 8, and he killed me in the bracket at some point, and he ended up winning it all. So it was cool. But yeah, I did a lot of Hearthstone back in the day, and then I moved on at some point. The game was not like fitting what I need, and also stuff like happened in the life. I got married, I got kids, and so stuff like that. So I had to move a bit from my endeavor on competitive and gaming. But recently, like end of 2004, 2024, I was thinking about coming back into TCG. Actually, the beginning of 2024, and I was looking for something, so I found like a Flesh and Bone was really cool. I looked a bit on Lorcana, and then I was almost ready to buy some cards from Flesh and Blood, and I found the Kickstarter of Altered, and so did everything change, and the my adventure on the Altered begins at this point.
Got it?
I think. Okay,
No worries. It's interesting. It feels like there's a good amount of people within the altered space that have some type of gaming slash esports background a little bit, other than purely just TCGs. It's funny. I actually used to watch or at least follow a lot of Hearthstone esports content in
yeah.
general. Um, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but did Punchline or your team get involved with other things? Like, did you do, like, other Blizzard games or
Uh, I'm not sure. At the point I was in the team, there was nothing else than
okay.
Hearthstone. But maybe when I moved on and they changed,
Mm,
I know most of the big stream, like the well-known streamer like Oliesh and Maverick from Belgium, who were part of the team, moved to another team like called Millennium, and then now they are
yeah.
in Solari. But I'm not sure what the rest of the team did after that.
Okay. Yeah, I was just curious because I thought it was, like, vaguely familiar in the back of my mind kinda thing,
If
as
you
a
if you
potential.
search for content, you can find my lost in the top 8 against my friend. It was commented by who has the name already? Was a Taiwanese Hearthstone player back in the day. Who was well
Okay.
known also in the community. But yeah, you can
Okay.
find some of my games online. But I lose, so don't look at it.
It it's always fun finding that old stuff on the internet
Yeah,
about yourself,
yeah,
right? So,
yeah.
tell me you gave me a little bit of background, but if you can, tell me, when did your involvement start with the ExAlts team and why you were interested in creating a team of your own opposed to potentially waiting or becoming involved with another team after they had already been developed?
Yeah. So yeah, during the Kickstarters, I was thinking about starting a project around Altered, and since I had this experience with Punchline, I was thinking, okay, maybe there is no team actually in the game right now, and I think it's a good uh, a good project, and it will be really important at some point for Altered because we can share the uniques, and in TCG actually working with other people on the same decks and so on, and having constant people available to try new stuff is quite important, I think. I remember back in the day in Hearthstone, we were like doing some review session of games. Like we were just reviewing a game of one of our player from his point of view and commentating on each play and line of play that were available at this point of the game. And it was really like important and helping a lot the teams to grow up and get some insight from other people on what you can play differently in a game. So yeah, my experience from over like a team in over TCG make me wonder like, if it would be a good idea to do a team in Altered. And so at, I think around the end of the Kickstarter, I was playing a lot with someone from the US called Lao Shiman. We were playing a lot on Exalted, and I asked him about creating a team, what he think about. Like I found the name like the Exalts, and he was really interested. So I reached out some other people well known in the Discord, the main Discord at that point, that I know were could be interested into joining. So I reached out to, I think it was Keyuko Amori, stuff people like that, Srizen, and so on. It's like mostly people from the French community. Uh, I, I don't remember if Trickster was part of the beginning of the things, but he was really early on, at least. Maybe Trickster is the most well known in the US side of the Alter. But yeah, so I reached out like 10 people, and they all agreed to join together. So yeah, just at the end of the Kickstarter, I created a Discord, and the story began there. Um,
Nice.
yeah,
It's interesting actually, when I first started, like, getting interested in Altered, I ended up getting, uh, a few Kickstarter boxes, and at the time, I had not kept up with anything going on with the game as far as, like, the cards or anything like that, so I asked people if they would be interested in, like, helping out when I opened the box overall, and Lau actually helped me, get on a call and everything and set that up, so It's
Cool.
fun that yeah, it's fun that, like, after how you met him in general, like, he was probably one of the first people that actually told me different things about, the game as I was opening cards and a variety of other stuff as far as if I opened a unique, if it was actually good or not, or some level, right? So, and speaking of, like, other people on the Exalts, you kinda mentioned a few as far as the founding members and whatnot, but other than the ones you mentioned or yourself potentially, are there others that are operate in leadership positions for the team, and what may they be best known for within the team or maybe even the altered community as a whole?
Okay, so ExAlt has a lot of different iteration of the how it's working, the organization inside, and people joining or leaving. So since yeah, we have already 1 years, we're 1 years old team, so it's quite a lot of people to mention. But basically, from the start, we had like Amaury. I think he's well known in the French and Belgium community since he's doing a lot. I think it's what the biggest stream YouTuber on Altered, at least for the Franco French people. Then Trickster joined really early also because we wanted to make the team something international, like with some people all around the world. And so he's well known also on the other side, like the for the US people at least. Um, then we had some people that were involved with Equinox at some point with playtesting or stuff like that. So I mentioned them, Reason and Kayuko. They are stepped down now from Equinox, but from testing stuff with them. But they were involved a lot with the game early on. And then we have all the players of the team that are competitive player or not actually, because at the beginning, ExAlt was just a big organization when we were not really trying to recruit specific profile of people. It's just we know you're a good guy and or good girls, and we it's fun if you join the team. So the team grew up a lot. It was like at some point we had more than 50 people, I think, in the team. But some of the people wanted to be really competitive, so we tried to find a way to accommodate every profile, and it was back and forth discussion about how to have a big open team for everyone, and then also a competitive side of the team. We tried different stuff. Most of them didn't work, so we ended up like in the actually it's a new project from 2025. Altered has now, ExAlt has now a really competitive part with just dedicated people and some leadership uh, that really focus on trying to be the best at the game and in trying to get all the top possible in the big offline tournament at least, because you may see that we are not really involved in online tournaments like the AOL and stuff like that. Like ExAlt is not really uh, uh, actually like most of the competitive player doesn't want really to join those tournaments because they want to focus more on the offline side of the things. Um, but yeah, other names like you, so you may know Dandy, Seadus, who won the last tournaments. But we had some people like Jolie Rouge Girls who is streaming for the team also a lot and commentating stuff. Jolie did some good results also on tournaments. We had some other people helping on the commentaries, like BB, just BB, Kayuko also did some commentaries and people like that. But yeah, the team is big, so I wouldn't enumerate everyone, but yeah, we are all part of the same group.
Yeah, I gotta imagine though, one of the things that came to my mind when you mentioned that is there has to be some difficulties with having so many people involved
Yeah,
to a certain
yeah,
extent.
yeah. There was.
Can you go into that a little bit as far as, like, some things you ran into on the along the
Yeah,
way?
I just remember also that in 2025 we decided also to elect, because at the beginning it was really me who was doing most of the stuff. Like in 2024, I was really involved in everything in and maybe burning myself a bit on the team. And so at the beginning of 2025, we decided to have elect some people to help me managing the team basically. So now there is a bureau like with Dandy and Brian for the competitive side, Capuchon and Jolie Rouge Gorge with me for streaming and other stuff like that. And I think and Moira also. Yeah, I didn't. I forgot about talking about Moira, but she was a big part of the team actually. She was involved in all the website of the ExAlts parts, and also some analytic for the team at some point, which helped us a lot to identify good Unix at the very beginning of the game. Like before it was released, we were able to extract from the database some, like I think it was more than thousands of Unix, and then she did a lot of works to have a database with that we can uh, fit on and search inside. And so that's why like Exalt were able to uh, get good ideas of very important and good Unix in the set one very early on. So this was a big help, and she's managing all the communication of the website of the Exalt. So she do a lot, and she's part of the bureau. So I think yeah, I mentioned everyone.
Nice.
So back on your question, yeah, there was some issue obviously, uh, just because like we were not always on the same page of what Exalt should be. And I didn't want at the beginning, like Lau stepped down a bit early on, like managing the team. He helped a lot at the beginning of, because oh yeah, I mentioned also, I didn't mention so, but he was part also of the Exalt was wanted from the beginning to create a big league and some competitive tournaments and so on. I think we were like the first to really showcase those stuff and even stream them and commentate them on it was between the case and the release of the game basically. So we did a lot of stuff, and Alao had the ideas to do a league every month, and so he helped to set up everything on that side. But then after that, he kind of stepped down on organization of the team and stuff like that. He had some sort of stuff to do. I think he's developing also a game actually. He will yeah, he will showcase it. I think in at PAX. I think. Uh, and yeah, so back on your question, we were not always on the same page. Like, what is Exalt? Do we want to be really open to the community for our competitive aspects, for example? Do we want to keep some stuff for us? What we want to do for the tournaments? All the yeah. So there was some very. I think the biggest question was about the competitive aspect of the team and the information we give to the community, and not everyone was on the same page on that, and so we had a lot of discussion, and it was very complex to find the best solution. I think we never found it actually the best solution, but now we have another kind of project with that, and we try to see if it's the best for us at least right now. But yeah, it was not always super, but it was always like um, not very harsh conversation or people leaving because they don't fit with the team or stuff like that. It was never like that. Just complicated to fit everyone in the same project and stuff like that.
Yeah, a lot of voices sometimes means a lot of opinions, so it makes
Yeah,
sense. But I mean, things have been looking from the outside pretty good. I mean, like you mentioned, the website, enjoy looking at that, enjoy the different things that you have new initiatives going out pretty consistently. So looks
yeah.
good. Going into the next question, and you mentioned a little bit about it early on, but what was the inspiration behind the team name of Exalts and even your logo? I know you've gone through a few different iterations at this point in general, but just going from the start, and then we'll take it from there.
Yeah, so it's quite simple actually. Like I think one of the first article about the lore of the game was released around the end of the Kickstarter, and so I was reading it and found the name of actually the hero we are playing called the Exalts, and so they are called like that. And so I was thinking, okay, it's cool name and it's fitting us. Like we are the hero of the game basically. So why not just naming the team the Exalts? And so Lau was okay with that, and so it starts from that. And yeah, we are not for that right now. And also, funny because a lot of people they have the wrong ideas that we are behind Exalted actually, because Exalted, and so we are sometimes a lot of people sometimes join us. Oh, okay, I have problems with Exalted and so on. How did we are not involved with that? Actually, we try to recruit. How is it called? The guys that developed Exalted. At some point, he was thinking very at the beginning of Exalt. He was thinking to join the team, but he was not sure that he will stay a lot involved in Altered actually, because it was just a side project to develop Exalted. So he didn't join back in the day. But yeah, so for the name, it was like that. And for the logo, so as you mentioned, we had some different iteration. But at the very beginning, it was just Amaury who did a lot of the beginning of the visual for the team, basically. So he just put the Exalt name and so. But since I think the August of 2024, we decided to try to recruit someone, or pay someone to submit to do some rebranding of the team, like develop a real uh, uh, artistical direction of the team, basically. So this guy was working with us for like few months. It was a lot complicated actually to make it done, but in the end, he he did a good work, I think, and he found the logo. So I had a lot of discussion with him about the logo and how to set up it, and then all the colorimetry, all the stuff like that. Um, and basically, the logo, the ideas behind the new logo of the Exalt is that we wanted obviously to fit a bit the Altered logo, which is kind of a vortex. You enter the tumult through those vortex. And also inside the logo of the Exalt, if you look at it really quite, you can see like a phoenix, or at least a bird or something like that, which is a reference to the familiar we have like the Exalt have already always a familiar, Buddha for Kojo and stuff like that. So the idea is to have something like that. Also Jolie Rouge Gorge with a bird in it was a little cameo inside the logo, like because he's a big a big fan of birds, and it's his pseudonym. So, but yeah, mainly the fitting this vortex and the altered universe. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I feel like the Exalts in particular have put a lot of effort, I guess, artistically towards like branding and everything. So it's interesting to hear the background of that and all of it, that everything that went into that. So appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, going into a little bit more in depth for the team as a whole. A lot of teams compete. We've already mentioned how you've gone into different directions with the team as far as like different aspects, but a lot of teams compete within the Altered TCG, but some are involved in other areas. What are some of the things that your team does other than just compete within Altered?
Yeah. So at the very beginning, we wanted to really have a link with the community through the league and the tournaments we were creating and proposing, like offering to the team, to the community. But I think like at the very beginning, obviously Exalt was the only people to do that, so everyone was interested into our tournaments and so on. But since the game was released, I think we were a bit stepped down from those kind of projects. We were doing still the celebration, but the link was shut down like a few months ago because we were not having enough participants. So I think early on we had a big part on the tournament organization, but now on we, at least for the online part, because now you have the IOL which are well developed, and through BGA it was really simple. But at the beginning we didn't want to use BGA for our tournaments. Yeah, if I don't know if you saw the first championship we did just before the game was released. We did it on TTS, Tabletop Simulator. But yeah, we were not really happy with the tournament you can create in BGA, the format and so on, and also basically because there was some bugs on BGA, and we did well, like it was not really perfect to fit a perfect competitive environment, I would say. So, but you might have seen that we have moved on, and now the celebration is moving to BGA because I think it's just what the community wants. It's simpler, it's easier to access. So we are just going to accept that and do the celebration on BGA. But yeah, so Exalt at the beginning was a lot about tournaments and stuff like that. Now we are just like one celebration, maybe each set release to try to do a big, very competitive tournaments. Because the goal was also to have a big top cut, do some BO3 if possible. So this is not possible on BGA actually, but it's sad. But yeah, the goal was to have the best competitive environment for an online event, which I think we're still looking for because even for the AOL, um, it's nice to have 6 or 7 round of Swiss round, but at the end of the day, it's like it's always complicated to decide. Okay, I'm top here after the 7 round, but can I really be declared the a very good player because I top 7 round of Swiss? I don't know, but yeah. So this was the part of where we were most involved, but I would say between the KS and the release of the game, and the early release of the game, and then we wanted also to try to share with the community some stuff. So the website was a big part also where we are publishing some article about faction and so on, and we are trying to uh, feed the website with some interesting article to share with the community. And then now we are moving a bit from online tournaments to offline tournaments. So we are going to try to organize some stuff in Paris. We are trying to get a partner, a shop partner actually in Paris, and we will probably try to organize some tournaments offline this time at this shop. But it's still in the process, and we are still working on
Yeah,
that.
I mean, you've obviously gone over a lot in general, and my next question is kind of similar in a way, but more so an opinion-based one. With there being a variety of teams within the altered community at this point, and it seems like there's constantly more being created every event that shows up realistically. Um, what do you think makes Exalts unique from the others within the community? And I guess what do you want the team to be known for as Altered keeps growing?
So I think the the thing that make Exalt a bit unique is I think the fact that we were really here from the beginning. So we have really people that are uh, keep interest into Altered and really know a lot about the game. We had the chance also to have people that were we had some close contact with Equinox. We saw a lot Lokinox in Paris, usually in events. So we are keeping in touch with them. So it's really nice to have a direct contact with them. And the other thing is that we are trying to be the most competitive as possible also now. So Exalt is looking to be one of the best team in Altered through that, and the other thing that make it maybe unique is that we are really big, and so at the moment I think it was not one of your next question, but we are not recruiting that much people anymore. But yeah, the fact that it's international also, basically I think we have people from all around the world, like people from the US. We have already Dash is from actually Hawaii. So we have even people in the in the Pacific. In the Europe, we have people from Bulgaria, Serbia, Netherlands. So some people from Spain. So yeah, and we have also Kawa, who is doing most of the like mostly commentary, but he's from Ireland. So yeah, the very wide team with a lot of different profile. Also, I think it's one of the main thing is that okay, we have maybe some really competitive people, but we have also some more casual players, some more people that were super interested into the lore of the game and stuff like that. Like really all the different profile you can imagine on Altered. Um, so yeah. the wide different profile and the variety of people.
Yeah, good diversity in general, it seems
Yeah.
like, as far as, like, different people going around and everything, and I know you mentioned some focus on competitive, and you guys did release your jerseys somewhat recently, so that was
Yeah,
cool to see.
yeah.
Uh,
That's also one of the project we worked on. The guy that did the logo, he was supposed to design the jersey also, and so we are super happy. Like the first jersey are shipping right now. Like some people already got them. Actually, it's funny. Little story is that people from Netherlands and maybe Dash in Hawaii will get the jersey first, while us in France, because it's a French company actually that is producing the jersey. And but since we did a massive command in France, they produce the single one first, so the single one already are shipping, and the big command of like 30 jersey from everyone in France is still waiting. So it's funny, but yeah. Everyone is really eager to get his jersey now. I think maybe I can show you. We did also in the meantime
oh,
some
nice.
play mat for the team,
Very
and
cool.
yeah, and so it was really cool because we were able to get them before the last big tournament. We were in Paris
Mm.
last week, and also at Nantes. There was 200 people at Nantes, I think, for the Ludo Trotter tournaments. And actually, when Exalt won, IRX won the tournaments. He had this playmat. He was really happy to show it. And I think people told me that it's the playmat is great because it's really shiny and visible. Like when you go in the alley, you always, you really get catch by this playmat because it's really simple, the big blue and the logo in the middle. So we are really happy with the playmat, and we are waiting for the jersey now.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I
And you
know.
can actually, if you want one, you can actually order one blue on
Okay.
the website, the shop. Uh, it's not that it's like 30 euro
Yeah,
for people,
it
35, I think.
it's pretty reasonable considering, like, I've seen some esports jerseys go for, like, 70,
Yeah.
$80 for, like, the big teams kinda thing, so that's pretty
And
reasonable.
so for the production part is 30 euro, and the
Mhm,
team is getting 5 euro by per cell basically.
yeah.
So it's not that much for. Yeah.
Yeah, so
But
no,
we
that's
we we had some people ordering, like we had a few fans. Again, no, it was actually it's a friend from the Altered Aces team. He ordered two Exalt jersey for him, and then we had some people that two other people that ordered jersey also. I don't know them, but they were interested to ordering the jersey. It was fun.
nice. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I know when I've seen I think it was on a recent event where, obviously, before the jerseys, you guys had, like, patches.
Yeah, a
Yeah,
patch. Yeah,
yeah,
anyway, we
so
had
that
some
was
patches.
it's cool to see it makes it easy to recognize people, especially on stream, and I have to imagine in person too, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's very cool. But yeah, so you kinda mentioned it a little bit, not actively looking for any members at this point, but, when you were, or at least at the potential of someone getting joining on, what does someone typically have to do become part of the Exalts team?
So there is two kind of recruitment, I will say. There is the competitive recruitment, which is very specific and it's Dandy and Brian that are organizing that. So actually, we I can like we have some people stepping down from the competitive team. So there was a slot and it's already filled, but basically it's from results, basically from tournaments. So we were looking to recruit some people. We had some talk at Villepinte and Nantes with people involved in the competitive of Altered, and Dandy and Brian found a profile that could fit. So if he ended up, I can tell you it's Seb FRC, who ended up top two at the last Villepinte Paris Manga tournaments. He lost to Siadus on in the final. But actually, it's fun because Seb was part of the Exalt at some point. He tried to join really early on, but he was not really involved at that time. So we discussed, and he said, "Okay, maybe I step down from Exalt for now." And then and then a few months later he was hyper active in the competitive side of the team, of Altered, and then yeah, he just basically is coming back now to Exalt. So yeah, we have a recent recruitment, but it's really focused on competitive aspect, and if there is not many slot, we have limited the slot to 10 people, I think, and at the moment it's full with the new recruitment of Seb, I think. But if you want to be part of Exalt as a competitor, you can try to reach out to Dandy or Brian and discuss with them about that. On the other side, like the family community Exalt side where we are a lot, since we were already 50 for now, we decide to stop any recruitment. But you can still reach me and we can discuss because we have some people moving on from the game. We had like at the beginning of set two, we had few people moving on, but it's interesting because now like now we begin to know very well everyone. So integrating new people is easier when you already kind of met them somewhere or you know. So we are looking more like some profile like that where people can integrate easily into a big community already because they already know a bit some of those people because they play with them at the LGS, for example, in Paris or in Rennes or over space. So it's yeah, maybe someone that playing a lot in the US with Tristar, for example, could join, but yeah, it's more complicated now.
For sure. It always makes sense when you already have that tie into someone that's existing in within that community in general. But very cool. But yeah, that's all I had for you. Any shout outs or things you would like to promote for either yourself or the team?
Well, but the Exalt celebration is moving to BGA. It's almost full already. I think I decided to make it only 64 slot at the beginning, but it's almost full already. So probably the next iteration of this Exalt celebration on BGA will be a bit bigger. But yeah, if you want to be participate, it will be the 12th of April. Sorry for my accent. 12 April, the afternoon for France time zone. So not sure for like maybe for US people it could work. But yeah, if you want to join, go to BGA, search for the tournaments, search for the Exalt Celebration Trial by Frost Season 1 tournament. Then we have the Instagram also. Jolly Rouge Gordy is working on the Instagram now of the Exalt. I think it's team underscore Exalts. So we are publishing some of our results and so on and information about the team. Shout out to the Moira and all the work she's doing for the website. You want to have some information on the game, you want to look at a specific hero, for example, to begin with the game, we have some article like that for you. So it's exalts dot team, I think. Basically, you can find you with us like that. The Discord, you can join the Discord of the Exalt if you want. We have 1,060 people in the Discord. Even though I would say now the discussion are a bit there is less discussion now with the community, but still you can join, ask us question. We are here, we can answer. I make sure to answer everyone. And then yeah, if you want some news from the team, it's the best point to on of entry. Shoot out to Amori for everything he's doing for Altered because he's a big streamer and big YouTuber and doing a lot of stuff for shout out to Trickster, who is doing a lot of stuff also on his part of YouTube for the English people. Yeah, and maybe that's it. Shout out to my wife actually. See, my wife and my two kids who support me and where I agree to every of my demand of okay, let me do that, let me this tournament this week, please. And yeah, it's always complicated to have a big family. Sometimes I'd say Exalt is my third kids, you know, and my wife could agree, even though she's not the mother. But yeah, it's it's cool. It's cool anyway. It's a good adventure. It's really always nice to have some adventure like that.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate you at least starting this type of thing. I think a lot of people see as the Exalts as the quote unquote first team of Altered. And it's been great to see the different things that you guys have come up with and put in a lot of effort, at least for the community, and a variety of different ways. So I'm glad to have you on and just get some more information in general. But
Thank you,
yeah,
Luke. Thank you
yeah,
for the invitation.
yeah,
It's been
no,
great.
absolutely. I appreciate it. The community's great, and it's been a good talk. But other than that, that's all I had for you. And so we'll just end things here, and I'll catch you later.
See ya.